Thanks for tuning in. This is Lauren with the TMF podcast here at TMF Apparel. And today I have a special guest, Brittney Kline from BossLadyShoetique is joining us on the podcast. And we are going to talk about all kinds of things related to business, entrepreneurship, struggles that you have throughout life. Brittney, we're going to go through your quick meet the CEO that you have on your website here, give people just a small background on it. Brittney Kline, the CEO of BossLadyShoetique LLC, fueled by passion for fashion. It's a little tongue twister for me. As a child growing up, she was inspired to be a fashion model, unable to reach her dream of fashion model due to becoming pregnant at a young age. In her heart, she knew that she would not be the end of her dreams, but the beginning of a new and beautiful story. Her hunger and determination to never give up on her dreams led her to be inspired to start BossLadyShoetique in 2019. She wanted to bring good quality, affordable brand to hardworking and passionate women. And she wants these boss women to feel good about themselves at an affordable price while walking like the boss they are. That is a strong statement.
Yes, definitely. That's what we're all about at Boss Lady Shoetique. Just want to empower women, in any way we can, whether it's through fashion or it's through our empowerment events that we do throughout the Twin Cities. That's just what we're all about. It's empowering women.
So Boss Lady Shoetique is based out of Minneapolis, I take it? Out of the Twin Cities? Okay, and it's an online boutique and pop-ups. So pop-ups are interesting because you just show up to events and rock and roll, huh?
Yeah, I've been getting into the individual pop-up store where it's just all Boss Lady Shoetique, so there's not other vendors there.
Okay.
So, that's been pretty fun now since we have like our customer following and customer base, so we're able to set up and do our own thing and people are, know what to expect and they're coming out to check us out. But throughout the summer, we were doing, involved with other vendors and that was pretty fun too, though.
Right. So what did you do prior to Boss Lady Shoetique?
Oh, goodness. I've been told that I've been a boss my whole life for 36 years.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I've done so many things. If we want to go way back, from a youngin', I kind of just really knew that I wanted to do entrepreneurship, do my own thing, from passing out flyers in the church, staying out babysit everybody's kids when they did the grown-up nights and stuff. And then, I started a pedicure company doing all the older ladies in the neighborhood's feet, and they come over to my house, get a pedicure for $20. Then I started a car detail company with a friend, a home healthcare company, and now we're here. We do Airbnbs and also have Boss Lady Shoetique. So
Airbnbs, okay, very interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just got strings of income all over the place. That's really the key for being an entrepreneur.
That is the key.
Yes.
That has definitely taken off this last. I will say this. I've talked about this on several other podcast episodes, that one thing that came out of the pandemic lifestyle was people decided that we can do a lot more with our time. And it birthed a whole new generation of workers for themselves, a whole new entrepreneur life set, which is multiple streams of income. Because as far as I knew growing up, I'm not much older than you, I'm 39. And when I grew up, that wasn't a thing. You just had a job. Some people had a business, and those people were like super risky. You were like, that's so risky to start a business because it was expensive. There was no online. It was a brick and mortar, big bills, struggles. Some people made it, most failed. And now we have a world where you can start a business with almost $0. And take off. So it's a different world to live in, and there's a lot of great information out there and helpful resources, and there's a lot of bad information. It goes both ways. So prior to this, you were a boss all around, and then you decided one day that Shoetique was going to be a thing. How did this come? How did this develop?
Well, I used to work for a home healthcare company for about 6 years. I was a senior claims analyst and worked my butt off. We'll be working, 50, 60 hours a week, just for them always to be stressing me out. You need to do more, 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 more. And it was, just weighing in on me. And I just started to just lose focus of so many things. So they actually was a blessing in disguise. They laid me off. And I'm thinking like, okay, what am I gonna do? I've been working, doing adventures on the side, but what am I gonna do? And so I decided to just believe in myself, step out on faith, and just go full force. So I've been doing that for the past year now, and it's been going really, really, really well. One thing that I give to people advice on running their businesses and everything is like you really have to believe in yourself. Sometimes it sounds easier said than done, because you feel like the dream is too big. But you
Right.
have to realize, God gave you that thought for a reason, and that passion for a reason. And you have to know that you're capable of doing anything that you put your mind to. So that's something that I've been waking up trying to continue to manifest every day. That even though this jobs that now I'm doing myself, I'm putting all these hours into my own business. It's for a reason, it's for a purpose, and I just keep going. Everything that I want is just going to continue to fall into place.
Right. Yeah, that's big. For me, it was always I was never constrained by a limit in my own mind. So with my
Mm-hmm.
business prior to this, I was in the motorcycle industry for like 20 years. And it's for me, it was never like, well, we only have enough money for this. It was always, well, we just need to sell or do this to generate just a little bit more if we need a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We always were there. And people get stuck living in limitations of I have a job, I have a salary, I have a certain amount of time. And
Mm-hmm.
for someone who is in a position like you or myself, you wake up knowing that tomorrow could be the day that changed your life. Every single day, like today, you get no sales, car broke down, your kid's been, got in trouble at school.
Right.
Everything can go wrong. And tomorrow you can wake up and that day could be the day that changes your entire life,
Yes.
and for the better or the worse, honestly. It could go either way.
Yeah.
But ideally, if you manifest it and you work hard toward that, then it would be something that would be a step in that direction for the better. There's people who have had woken up and had, you could have 10 sales today and 1,000 sales tomorrow and
Right.
change your entire life. But
Yes.
it
The
can be
key is
very
to never.
difficult. Yeah, it can be very difficult when you have those bad days to think about tomorrow being the day, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and hearing no from people 1,000
Yeah.
times, and a lot of times the hardest no's come from the people that you care about the most. That's a tough one. And one of the things that sticks out to me is I follow Gary Vaynerchuk a lot, and one of the things that he preaches is not giving a f about what other people think, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
people around you, or your parents, or your friends, or like whoever it is putting up the
Mm-hmm.
wall. If you can take that wall out of your way, then you have a better chance, and that's a
Yeah,
big deal.
that
Getting
is.
there. So you
That,
started off with your bio there as teen pregnancy, and how did you
yes.
make that feel for the future? Like,
Well, so yeah, I got pregnant very young. I got pregnant at 14 years old. And being pregnant at 14, you're basically still obviously trying to figure out life. Not only did I get pregnant at a young age, but during my years, different sexual things happened to me. So I was just a little kid that was broken.
right,
I was so broken, I was angry or whatever, but I just needed I feel like I just needed something to just love me and or whatnot. So, I ended up getting pregnant at 14, searching for that love, to find out that that wasn't it, and to be searching for quite some time. So I figured out where the real love needed to come from. But before that, it was hard. I wanted to still be a kid. I still wanted to be grown up, be an adult, though. I didn't want my parents to tell me anything, but hey, I got this baby, so I'm an adult. I can handle this.
right,
So me coming from a really good home, though, and still just trying to be rebellious, I decided to leave home. So I left home at 16 years old with my daughter, who was 2, packed up her stroller and had no clue where I was going, but I knew I was ready to get out of my mom's house. So when I did leave, I was homeless, sleeping on couches and just all over the place. I even had someone ask me, one of my friends' parents at the time say, you got to leave, but you can keep your baby here. We'll take your baby. And, at 16, you would think, oh, great, here, and then I would go
right,
run the streets. But for me, I felt like I had worked so hard, just to prove a point that I could handle her and take care of her, that I decided that no, I kept my child. So I went through so much, and having a baby at 14 back then, I thought my life would be over. I was into modeling, I sang, dance, volleyball, basketball, everything, track, all this stuff. And, I just thought everything would be over, but it really was a blessing in disguise. Having her at 14, leaving my home and all these privileges, I was able to step out on faith and grind really, really, really hard to where I am today. It was like I had something to prove. It was like not only that I had something to prove to myself, but I had so much to prove to everyone else that thought I was just going to be this really nothing. Having a baby at
Right.
14, what can you envision for this person to be? So that's why I can talk about this stuff in confidence and be happy about it. I'm 35 years old with a 21-year-old daughter. She'll be 21 next month or whatnot. And it's a blessing though. She's very smart. She's in college. She's got her own place. She's doing good for herself. And God blessed me to be able to do things great for myself. And I feel like all the things that I went through was just to build me up so he can make this platform for me to speak out to encourage other young girls who have been sexually abused, who have been, low self-esteem and all this stuff, to let them know that it's okay. Use all that pain, sweetheart, for something positive. And it takes a lot to understand and learn how to do that. Because when I say he was searching for that love, it was in me the whole time, but I never knew that. I never knew to love myself and that it all comes within. And once I discovered that self love, that's when different doors and everything just started to open up and things started to align.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's a little bit about that.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, I think people, especially the younger generation, has a hard time understanding the concept of time and how much time you have, and that you don't have to achieve everything overnight.
Yes.
Sometimes it takes time, and the instant gratification stops a lot of people because it's not there. It's
Yes.
years and years and years of going through stuff sometimes to figure it out. And you have your outliers that start an endeavor and they're successful off the bat. But you have more that don't, that just hustle and grind. You don't, we didn't see Brittney go through all of that. We only see Brittney now. So it's hard to wrap your head around it. But somebody else right now is where you were. There is a
Yes.
100% guarantee that there is somebody else right now who is young, who has a baby, and who has no place to go.
Right.
And that's it's going to be today, and it'll be another one next year. I mean, they're always going to be there, and trying to find a way to reach them and let them know that they have time to figure it out. It might not seem
You
like it,
have
but you do.
time.
You got
And
time.
if you mess up, that's the blessing about life, is that we're able to pick up and start all over again.
Right.
I can only imagine how many walls I ran into and how many times I felt that I failed as a person. But I feel it's so important to reach those people because there's so many people committing suicide left and right. It's just not even funny,
Right.
because they're not happy with themselves, or they feel they didn't find that self love. And I'm just so thankful that I finally discovered it, because you're steady searching it. Next thing you know, you're just broken because you're not fulfilled.
Right.
When the fulfillment comes all inside, and that's when you start to smile more. That's when you start to have a better outlook on life, and you're more positive, and you can see clearer. It's a true story, but you have to learn to love yourself, and you got to also learn to forgive yourself.
So what worked for
Forgive.
you? What was the thing that worked for you to put you on that path?
I don't want to be too spiritual, but it really, really, really was the grace of God. There's so many times, like when I was out there being homeless, he kept me. I was from someone trying to, putting guns to my head out there, and going through all that struggle, and he kept me safe. And again, I just felt like it was just, I needed to prove so much, of trying to be this person and show the world that, hey, I can do this, I can do it. And so when I finally just got tired of running this race of trying to prove something to someone, I just cried. I don't know if you've seen that movie before, The Prayer Room, when the lady's in the
It's
room and she's just crying and crying and crying. Oh, it's such a good one if you haven't seen it. And that literally was me. I was just tired, broken. God, I just can't take this anymore. My brain hurts. I'm trying to think of this, think of that.
Right.
And I just cried out to him, and he really just told me, like, Brittney, the love is here. Hello, what have you been searching for? And when I started to lean on him and learn to love on myself and figure out who I was, things started to fall in place. And believe me, it hasn't been an easy journey. Every day I'm telling myself, how I love myself and how I have to do this and how I have to do that. And it's okay that this didn't work out, but you can still do it this way. Every day is a journey.
Right.
But as long as you do that, that's what separates you from everybody else.
Yeah.
Is that.
Everyone has their own way of dealing with the
Mm-hmm.
stress and the depression and the thoughts,
Yeah.
and everyone has a different way. And for me, I didn't have the traumatic experiences that you had. I had my own struggles, and I was married with my ex for 12 years, and I always told her we had an okay relationship. It wasn't great, wasn't bad. It was just okay. And we didn't really have fights. And I realized at some point that in order to be happy, you must be sad. You have to at least address that you're not happy, and you have to be uncomfortable. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, the flick of the switch was I listened to a podcast with David Goggins, and I listened to his story, and it puts you into a mindset that what you think your bad day is, like your worst day, is somebody else's best possible scenario. And if you can wrap your head around that and go, okay, we can work through this, and be comfortable with that feeling. Like, this sucks. Today sucks. And one thing that he preached was do something every day that sucks, and just do it. It could be big or small. And I started doing that. I hated running. I hated running so bad. And I would get up and I would go outside and I would run down the street. And I'd come back, my feet hurt, and I was tired, and I hated it every time. I'm like, man. And I'd go a little further, and I didn't want to do it, but overcoming the little things, set your brain up
Mm-hmm.
to and train your mind to be more comfortable in every situation in life. It's not just about that. And so for me,
Right.
that's what made a difference in my life. And I'm a pretty optimistic person. Like 99% of the day, it's like, something bad happens. Okay, we can't get mad over it because that doesn't solve the problem. We can't get angry,
Mm.
yelling at. And I've employed a lot of people over the last 20 years, and my cousin being one of them. My cousin worked for me for like 10 years, and he would mess stuff up on the regular, like. And I was a painter. I was a body guy. I built big custom bikes that cost lots of money. And I would hand him something that I put all of my time, energy in to put on this bike. He'd scratch it, or, oh man, this is messed up. And I'm like, I'm gonna be here all night fixing this. But being mad about it and just taking it out on him doesn't fix it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
we work the problem. And for a lot of people, it's hard to get past I want to be angry.
Yes.
And it's okay to be angry, but
Mm-hmm.
you just realize that you have to be comfortable with that and move on. And when you're
Yeah.
when you're self-employed and you're an entrepreneur, you're going to be angry a lot at yourself.
Oh, well.
You're going to be mad at yourself for everything. Like, why?
Right. Like,
Why didn't I do
why?
this? Yeah, like, why didn't I do this? Why did I do that? I shouldn't have
Right.
done this.
Right.
And you can only use those little things as stepping stones to go, okay, well, the next time this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this
Mm-hmm.
next. Think about what we're going to
Right.
do next. And that is a huge thing. There's no overnight success story
No.
at all,
No. No.
and that's huge for people to understand. And I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people do. I don't think they understand. Like, it's
No.
big.
It takes time, and it really, you have to put in work, and if you fail, don't give up. That's the key. Keep starting over. Go back to the drawing board. That is what is going to separate you from the rest.
So tell
Don't.
us, when you started Shoetique here, what was your
uh,
biggest startup failure? What's the biggest mistake you made from the beginning that you look back and go, that was dumb? Because we all have them.
Oh, let me pick. Um,
Or say top three, sure.
right. Well, my top one definitely was marketing. We were putting all this money into like ads and stuff, not seeing results, not understanding what the heck is going on. And then finally, after taking a marketing class and watching some videos and reading some books, really like, wow, we missed like a huge step. So, I think that because then I had to rebrand and almost start all over, even though I
Okay.
started in 2019. So my, advice is sometimes you have to step back, see what it is that you're doing and how you can improve it. And for me, it was definitely the marketing, and my sales totally increased. I had to
So what
take it
was the
back and
mistake that you made in marketing? What did you do wrong?
um
Besides, I mean,
the
obviously
content,
ad spend is huge. I mean, we've all been there. You're like, hey, if I spend
right,
$20, I'll get, they tell you estimated like 6,000 people. You're like, dude,
right.
all I need is to sell like five of them, and then you're like,
They
where did my money
lied.
go? Yeah. Well, they
Right. They
lied.
lied. They lied.
Yes.
But learning the whole thing. I didn't know anything about sales funnel. I didn't know about the the driving them there and the different assets you needed. So I do none of that stuff. I'm just literally throwing a picture up on Instagram, maybe putting like two hashtags, and now running a post like, yeah, this is gonna get it. And then
Right.
don't mind me, the pictures are horrible. Like my content creation was not good. So, and I'm like, why is this not working? And so, like, literally, I had to go back and figure it all out. Like, okay, this needs to be like this, and you have to keep it consistent.
Right.
So, that was what it was, learning to do some more research, invest more money into learning, instead of investing more money. I'm investing in these ads and I don't even know what I'm doing. So, how
Right.
about let's invest into figure it out first and then get it going?
So
So,
some people aren't aren't good at it. So in that,
yeah.
would you advise, give the advice that if that's not your strong suit, take your budget and hire a social media manager or somebody that is good at it. I mean, would that be, if you
Totally.
look back and go, all right, I had X amount of dollars for an ad budget and I wasted it because I didn't know what I was doing. Maybe that person was worth $200, to throw some posts on
Definitely.
there.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I would have totally took that marketing ad I kept seeing. Oh, well, did my research and I would have took that, because it wasted time and it wasted money. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say invest your money if you have it into marketing courses if you want to do it yourself, and the other money or invest into a social media market. Otherwise, it's just you're gonna be going in circles.
I feel like that is also has to do somewhat with our age group. From I would say like the 30 to 50-year-old age group, because I can remember even in my other business, I did business online, an e-commerce site, and I did, up $500,000 a year in revenue doing that. And it was like, I remember sitting down with somebody going, what do you mean you're a social media manager? What does that mean? I post on Facebook. I don't need you to post on Facebook. This is stupid.
Right.
Like, how is this a job? Like, yeah, I manage your Instagram account. I'm like, what? That's the stupidest job I've ever heard of. Like, why do people pay you for this? They're like, well, yeah, you get 3 posts a week. I'm like, are you freaking serious? But when you when you fast forward to the real time, it's like, all right, some people paid attention from the beginning of Instagram and Snapchat and
Mhm.
TikTok and all of this, and they understand it, and that's why their account has 200,000 followers. That's why they're
Right.
doing great, and your posts get 7 views, and it's you, and your cat looked at it 3 times. So at the end of the day, that's what ended up happening because we don't understand. We just didn't pay attention. Growing
Right.
up, we were focused on other things, and some people paid a lot of attention to. I slept on TikTok up until very recently, and I knew,
Same.
right? And I listened to Gary Vee. My TikTok is where it's at. If you're not on TikTok, you're missing out. You need to be on. And I'm like looking at it, like, what? I don't want to make these videos. And then I downloaded the app, and I've got my kid's 13 and 9, and I download the app, and I'm like, these people put so much effort into making this video. Like, blows my mind. I'm looking at, like, you just did 7,000 transitions in 8 seconds. I don't even have the, I couldn't even begin to do that. So then I had a different appreciation for what people were putting into the platform. And then you have the realization, like, I don't know how to do any of that. So, right?
Right.
Like, how did they just do that?
9-year-old to show you how to work.
So now I'm like, okay, well, now I'm way behind the curve, and I don't know what you thought you were so far ahead. You're like, these kids, and you're like, that kid shot a major motion picture on TikTok, and it blows your mind. And then you look at the reach of it, and YouTube. I haven't really slept on YouTube. I'm well aware of the power of YouTube, and the power of Instagram. I felt like was different. Instagram has changed a lot in the last 5 years. The direction of it's changed, and now Pinterest is a big player. And I thought, man, look, Pinterest to me was like women just putting stuff on there they like, and it's full of just nonsense. For men, it's full of like JCPenney walls and stuff. I don't know, man, clothes and stuff over here. Yeah, recipes and like, oh, look at this cool thing. I'm like, whatever. I don't understand it. And I literally today I had a like an hour-long call with a Pinterest marketing person from Pinterest, and because I've ran a few ads myself, and I'm like, well, they get clicks, but I didn't get any conversions. I don't understand Pinterest. I can pin it from there. I don't know what it does. Like, I don't know if there's people out there. So we looked at one of the ads that I ran and realized how incredibly wrong it was. It's like wrong on so many levels. And it comes back to like, I don't understand that platform against like Facebook. Facebook is all about targeting specific groups of people. I want to target, if you were selling women's shoes size 7 to 9 that, are for a gala event, those are the only people you want to see it. You won't waste your money anywhere else. And Pinterest is like, I sell shoes to people who may or may not be women. That's my target audience. Right. Just click both of them. And so it was very different. I learned through this call with her today was like, okay, my ads got like very little. She's like, well, your metrics are all like, there's nothing here. I'm like, but I had some views. She goes, yeah, let's open that up. It's like, okay. She's like, type in your keyword. Yeah, no one's looking for that. I'm like,
oh,
awesome.
Wow.
It was eye-opening. Yeah, and I didn't spend a ton of I spent about on my total on Pinterest, I spent almost $170 in ads just doing test runs. And I'm like, okay, look at like 4,000 views. That's pretty good. Well, no, that's atrocious.
Wow.
I learned through this that like, some of these free educational things out there are helpful, and some of them are extremely boring to watch. You're like, this is insanely boring that you can pay attention to, but if you don't understand it, you're going to waste your money.
Yes. So that's definitely important to figure it out, what you're doing first before you just dive out there, because now you just wasted money.
So tell us a little bit about your business model, because you're an online store. So what is it that was like the thing that turned you from, I'm doing this, I hope this works, to this does work? Like, what's the business model that worked for you?
Well, there really are not too many nice like shoe stores here in Minnesota.
Okay.
So that was such a good idea. I'm like, you know what? I want to start a online shoe store. So my target market was really just Minnesota at the point,
Okay.
But then when I started reaching a lot of places, Texas, even Maine, and all those different places like that, then I started like, wow, this could be bigger than Minnesota, So I started aiming for other warmer cities. And then I wanted to do a brick and mortar. And then when I have a mentor, and then we kind of broke everything down. And she said, we went into we started looking at where most of the sales were coming from, and where the money was coming from. And it wasn't in Minnesota. It was out of town. Like, it was Florida, it was Dallas, like I said, Maine, and those are my biggest places. So it would make no sense to have it in Minnesota. So a lot of my shipments are out of town, you know, so I didn't do the brick and mortar store. We do offer delivery, local delivery. We'll run specials where it's free local delivery, or we'll charge $5 for local delivery.
Okay.
We do the pop-up shops, you know, so a lot of people are starting to be familiar with Minnesota, the customers, but my base is out of town. I would not open a brick and mortar here. It just would
Right.
make, it would be a waste of money.
Well, that makes sense that you looked at the market base and the analytics and thought, well, I would immediately lose my, like you'd be there, you'd basically just be paying rent to run an online store at that point.
So in my basement downstairs, I have a 4-bedroom house, but I have a huge downstairs. So I converted that into my warehouse, quote quote.
Right.
So it's really big. And I have all my inventory in there, bags with our logos, stickers, all the decorating stuff. So I just converted that little area into basically my warehouse. It saved me a lot of money. And my goal by the end of the year, though, is to expand, and I would have to get a bigger space, you know, just
Right.
because of the customer base and everything like that. So, but it works for me. It works great. It made more sense to not pay someone $3,200 for a little space when I can convert my downstairs into what I need for now.
Right. So for me,
It's
I lucked out because I had the motorcycle shop and then I started doing apparel just as honestly, it was kind of a side thing. I'd made t-shirts before for my business. Like I had a plotter, I cut heat transfer vinyl stuff. I had done a little bit of screen printing at one point for simple designs. And my I then friend here, she's across from me right now. We started going to the gym. I joined the gym. She went there. She always wore these like funny pun gym shirts. She always had, and for guys, they didn't exist. Like I didn't see them, so I made my own. I'm like, I want to make my own gym shirt to wear, and wear it to the gym, and started doing that, and made some quotes around people that I liked, and started. I put them on Etsy, and I would get so excited when I'd get like one sale on Etsy. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I'd never sold on Etsy before, you know. And at the time, she's like, well, I don't understand why that's exciting, you know, because my other business, like I'm selling things every day, like, you know, I'm doing thousands of dollars a week. And to sell one t-shirt for $20, I'm like, sweet, this is awesome. And then you think, well, someone out there is wearing my t-shirt. That's cool.
right.
You know, I like that idea. And then I started making more designs and we made designs together and I started selling more on Etsy and then I'm like, I'll put them on Amazon. So started selling them on Amazon. I'm like, that's cool. And then I had my own website and I got like zero traffic. Blew my mind, like, literally almost zero traffic. So I just focused on Etsy and Amazon for a while. And when the pandemic hit, I looked at the stuff that I make at my bike shop and I was like, nobody needs this. Like nobody needs, this is the last thing somebody needs, you know, in this time. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I thought, the other thought I have is every person wears a t-shirt. Most people own more than one t-shirt. So I need to work on that in case this really goes bad. And the bike shop sustained itself for a little bit and the t-shirt business started getting better. I started seeing more sales. And at the time it was just extra income for me. You know, it was like a little cushion. And I was doing HTV and then I decided, you know what, I want to print cooler. Like I'm a graphic designer. I do cool stuff, but I can't do it in HTV. I need to expand. So I went to sublimation. It was way too limited for me. And then I went and got this direct-to-garment printer, which was a ton of money. And I'm like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And I started printing shirts. And then we were making all kinds of stuff that were cool. And I was like, man, I can just design them. And for me, it was easier because I stock a bunch of blanks, but I don't have any inventory. Nothing's printed until you order it. So I am my own print-on-demand fulfillment center. And I was using the shop that I already had. But coming from my background of waking up every month, and if I don't make 10 grand revenue, I have $0. Like that's my $0 mark in the bike business was $10,000. Once I made $10,000, then I would start to actually have money left over because the rent was so high. I mean, I was paying out $8,000 a month in overhead, and it was just so expensive being a small business. So the t-shirt stuff, when I closed the bike shop, I moved it into my house. And now I print them here. And I would like to get a house with a basement that ideally that's what I wanted originally. The market was just too saturated. I couldn't get in one at the time, but you know, it did help going, all right, well now I don't have all of that. I would just focus on a little bit less. But for where you're at, if you're going to expand out, I mean, you're going to be needing a warehouse of some kind or something. I don't know. Get a bigger house. Get a shed.
Yeah, a little bigger house. I'll take that. You know, but
Yes.
I don't want to overdo it. But I'm definitely gonna do my research and plan this time because we won't have any hiccups. So that's what it's gonna be. Not falling into that first beginning stage. So yeah.
So is your website the only avenue that people have to buy from you? Is it the only source that you use?
Well, yeah, you can look us up on BossLadyShoetique.org, or we have it on Instagram at BossLadyShoetique, Facebook at BossLadyShoetique, and we're also selling on Walmart.
Okay.
So yeah,
I've seen a lot of people posting about Walmart. I applied to be on there, but they said that wasn't a fit for them. So I don't know what question I didn't answer correctly for Walmart to be on their online thing. I mean, who knows? Sometimes.
But you're on Amazon.
I am on Amazon, and Amazon is it's a triple-edged sword. No matter how you grab it, it will cut you. That's the best way to put Amazon. And when I see people talk about the Amazon side hustles, the FBA stuff. Now, I don't do fulfilled by Amazon. I fulfill merchant filled orders. So, because like I said, I don't want to print them and then hope they sell. I want to sell them and then print them. And with Amazon is the most customer oriented company on earth. The customer is 1,000% right, no matter what. They can do no wrong. And your customer service and satisfaction rating is almost impossible to maintain on Amazon. And so when you have your order defect rate has to be less than like, I think 2% or 3% on there, which if you don't sell a lot, if you only sold 10 pairs of shoes that month, one person returns them, you're over the threshold, for a small business. And then it puts you into review and they'll pause your account. And I have had that happen like twice over holiday season because people don't get it when the time they're supposed to be. USPS loses the package and you get like 2 of them and you're like, oh man. And then Amazon calls you and you have to write a letter like you're writing it to the principal's office. It is so you're sitting here going, the problem is simple. I mailed it. The post office lost it.
Right.
And I mailed them another one. End of problem. But no, that is not with Amazon. You're going to have to write a very detailed issue as to how it happened, what you're doing about it, how you can prevent it, all of these measures for them to approve you to sell again. It's extremely customer based. And I don't think I've ever had a shirt actually returned to me through Amazon. I've had returns authorized. I've had people giving their money back, and I don't think I've ever had a shirt returned to me.
Wow.
If they and I actually had there was a TikTok of a lady it went viral. It was on the news, and I did a post covering it of the news story because I didn't see the TikTok of it except for on the news story. But she was saying how, it was like me looking at the package Amazon said was delivered, but I didn't get, meaning she got it, but she's telling Amazon she didn't get it and saying that Jeff Bezos doesn't need the $39. And I was like, excuse me, Jeff Bezos didn't sell you that package at all. I did. Right. And so, there's people out there that obviously take advantage of the system. And that really sucks for us. But it actually got pulled off for bullying. I was bullying this news article. So I was like, weird world we live in. But Amazon is a double-edged sword because everyone goes to Amazon. Like they're like, oh, where can I get this right now? Amazon. But double-edged sword because while it does reach a lot of people, if you are not willing to have a certain amount of assumed loss, then it's not for you. And it costs a lot in advertising to put your ads out there on Amazon. Their ROI isn't great. If you don't have good, I would say a product that is going to have good organic growth or you can push people there, then probably not the marketplace for you, But I have sold on there for 2 years, and even down to So like with your shoes, are all of your shoes branded by Boss Lady in there?
No.
Okay, so for yours it would be a little different than mine.
Okay.
If you were selling, for instance, this little earbud thing, and it's by Curdine, but you're rebranded as Boss Lady, you would sell it as a whatever this company is on Amazon, and it would have an ASIN and a UPC. For my shirts are all rebranded for TMF. I can only sell apparel that is TMF apparel CO branded, and they are so specific as down to the punctuation of that. So,
oh, wow.
So back in December, I couldn't upload, and they kept saying brand exemption needs to be filed. I'm like, I already have one. Well, somebody somewhere had changed it from a capital C lowercase o to lowercase co. It is exactly the same, but I cannot upload it because I don't have exemption to that.
Oh,
and they're like,
God.
well, we don't understand. They're like, well, we need a picture of it. I'm like, what is going on? So they are down to the wire. But if you have a UPC, it's a little different because it's just going to pull a listing that's already on there, and you can sell it as that. You're basically just another merchant for that item at that point. So it's a little different when you have, like, if you just have solely the manufacturer of the item, they are so anal. Whereas Etsy's like, just put whatever you want, or eBay, or whatever, wherever else. But so do you sell directly through Instagram, or are you just using Instagram and them as a portal, as a marketing portal?
Yeah, just as a marketing portal. On my Instagram, they do give you a view shop option.
Okay.
And so from the view shop option, it will direct you to my shop. My shop is through actually Shopify.
Okay. Yeah, I figured as much by looking at your page that it was a Shopify base. Because Shopify, I slept on Shopify. I'm not going to lie. I was a WooCommerce person. I was like a WordPress WooCommerce guy. I loved WooCommerce for my other business. It was great. But through the shirts, it was not ideal. Like, I had to buy so many freaking plugins to get everything I needed in WooCommerce that I'm like, all right, I'm going to try Shopify. And I set it up, and I'm like, I get no traffic. Then I realized that there's all the things you have to connect within Shopify would look like a spider web if you were just to back out, like a spider web that cocooned like 3 things at once. You're like, everything's connected. And so I was curious to that because when you mentioned Instagram, I also have the same setup where it does link to Instagram, but I haven't had purchases through there. But over the holidays, Miss Megan over here ordered a bunch of crap off Instagram, so it works. It's like, oh, buy now. And then you could just check out right there on Instagram. And from all of the marketing things that I've seen, if you can have someone buy your item in one click, that is the best case scenario.
Yes.
The more clicks to get to the end game, the more chances are they're just going to I guess, get bored and just decide they don't want
it. And just not go through. Yes, that is true. The process. And it's most of my sales do come from Instagram.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really
Instagram, really good. And you're right, it's all connected. I love Shopify because it just kind of connects it all, as long as you have, like, your pixels and your tags and all that stuff.
All of the Facebook stuff is exhausting. You're like, all right, business for Facebook, cool. Okay, ads, okay, commerce, okay, your settings, okay. Let's go. This isn't. You guys are like, man, what am I doing? I've been on Facebook's business page for 3 hours. I'm not accomplished anything. You're like, what is happening right now?
And now here we are trying to figure out TikTok.
So trying to figure out TikTok. Lord help me. I am slowly learning the ways of TikTok. You have to spend a lot of time on the app, and you have to engage with people. And I'm not gonna lie, when my TikTok account that I started with, I bought followers for it. I was like, because everyone says you have to, you need to be able to go live on TikTok. So to go live, you need 1,000 followers. I'm like, dude, this can take forever. So for like $10, you can get 1,000 followers. Now, who are they? Who cares? You can go live now. You can build your brand. They're obviously not going to be people who are going to go to your store or accounts that will go to your store, but it achieved said goal. And I tell people that with YouTube as well. If you want to monetize a YouTube channel, buy one. Save your time. You can buy one for $250, $300. Yep. You can buy an account that'll have over the 1,000 subscribers, over the 4,000 watch hours, It might have 3 videos on it, doesn't matter, you delete them anyway. And start off with a monetized channel, because every piece of content you post from day one is monetized. Whether it's 0 views or 10,000 views, does not matter. It's monetized in the beginning.
I want to get into YouTube. That's what a lot of people have, because I've always never shown my face for my brand.
Right.
And so now I'm trying to show like, hey, it's me, and I added that about me portion to the CEO or whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's what my mentor has, told me, that I need to be more personal, with customers and different things like that. So I was like, I guess I will start this YouTube channel, when it
Right.
starts about whatever the latest trends or whatnot. So that's something I got to get into next. It's like, Jesus, just so much social media platforms, trying to keep up with and understand how to do it. And
Right.
But we're in 2022. If you want to sell, if you want to be successful, you better get it all down packed, because this is the way to go.
Yeah,
So,
especially in a niche where there's competition everywhere. And so why do people buy from you versus somebody else? And it does come down to they just like you. They just like your brand or your message at the end of the day, and that's why they chose to go down this. Is not because your logo is cool. And when we look at things like Nike, someone drew this thing and that was it. But you don't know what is behind Nike. You know that Nike is, every athlete wears their stuff and they have these huge deals, and that's how they got there. And then you look at a smaller scale of that, and what makes this other company successful is it you follow the person. That's the brand on point.
Yeah.
And to make that known is through social media. And some people get away without showing their face, but most of them don't. Most of them do not.
Most of them don't. Because,
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out, is this a real brand or is this a scam? So much
Right.
scam going out this day. So it's like, okay, you got to be relatable. You got to show people, hey, it's me. This is really real. Buy
Right.
from me, basically.
Right.
So,
Because there's a lot of online shoe stores. I mean, there's a lot of like Megan was part of, what's the one you're on? Shoe Dazzle or Shoe Dazzle and Just Fab, or her addictions. But she's got a lot of shoes. She's got so many shoes. Oh my God. The shoes.
I like them too, but after
It's
you
a
get over
different
their little
business. It's a different
program,
model.
you be paying a lot of money.
Right. It's a different program, but it worked. It's successful. So people want to come to you, then they're going to come to you because they saw your ad or your video, or you talking about it, and they connect with the passion you have for what you do.
Exactly.
And they follow you for that reason. I think if TikTok is huge, though, we gotta be better on that. I don't know about advertising on TikTok, but making content that people do want to watch. That's informative. And one of the big things that I'm trying to do better at, and that is sticking to the 51-49 rule, which is give people 51% for free, and then they'll come back for the other 49% that they have to pay for. Give them a little bit more, whether it's knowledge or whatever it is. Give it to them, and they will follow you for the rest, and that is what will make you successful. Don't think that you have to charge for everything that you do. And don't think that everyone out there's out there to get you. Not everyone's out there. Most people, I think Gary's like, I'll give you a million business ideas. I'll tell you every single great idea I have right now, because I know that nobody in this audience is going to act on it. I know that. History has told me you won't do it, but I will. Eventually, I have a great idea. And don't think that sharing some of these things to people that are good and helpful does help people build your credibility, and you have a mentor in your industry, and you will be someone else's mentor in your industry.
Yes.
But you won't be if you're not willing to share a little bit of the things that made you successful. It's not hindering you.
We have an event coming up this Saturday. It's called BossWomenPowers Networking Brunch and Mixer. And that's a totally free event, straight out of BossLadyShoetike's pocket. But the whole point, is just to be that connecting for people. Like I said, I want to be able to connect other women who may be stuck, they're ready to give up on hope, but they just need that extra little push, to get them there. So
Right.
that's what it's all about, connecting them with resources, mentors, and just other boss women that they can relate to and maybe just connect with to have her encouragement. So that's what it's all about. I'm so excited for it. As our first one that we're doing this Saturday. So far we have 75 attendees,
Oh, wow.
and that's just on Eventbrite, and then on Facebook it's like 53. So I'm excited and I'm a little nervous because I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of people.
Right.
So but
But it's
I'm
people who are
excited.
excited to be there, that are going to
Yes, and
show
I'm
up. And
excited for what it's gonna do, because that's what I feel that's what it's all about. It's about empowering each other so we can get to the next level, everybody. So
definitely, I
it's
find
enough
that a
out here.
lot. I have found that a lot on through TikTok. There's a lot of people that are just out there just to talk to people and help them, that need someone to talk to, or others to help somebody else. Just to go, all right,
Right.
today's the day. We're going to give you a push, And my thing that has helped me grow some followers lately is I've been just going on live streams that have just a couple people looking at them with no likes and just saying, have an awesome day, and giving them as many likes as I can finger on that phone in a few minutes,
Oh,
and
that's so
just
nice.
going, here you go, boom, and then off into the universe. If you've got like 100 people watching you, you're not even paying attention to me. I'm like,
Right.
look out for the little guy. You do a live and they're
Right.
sitting there talking to themselves for 3 hours or something about nothing. But
Right.
there's a couple people that I watch. Who do you find inspirational in your outside of your world that you look up to and say, this person, I pay attention when they talk. I pay attention.
I listen a lot to TD Jakes, Steve Harvey,
Okay.
um, Tiffany Delaney. She's my mentor. Um, do you hear my dog? He's probably
I
like
do.
crying.
I
He
do.
wants me to let him outside so bad. He's in there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to rub him and stuff. Like, be quiet. So I'm
All
sorry.
right.
But it's almost time for him to go outside. That's why he keeps
Right.
crying. But yeah, those are my mentors and just my inspiration. A lot. It's funny to say Steve Harvey, but he's got some good content out there, just some motivation. And TD Jakes, he's amazing. Great teacher, mentor. Listening to him is just really flows for me. It connects the dots. It really helps me out a
Right.
lot. And having my mentor, that's amazing. So that's my advice for people too, that if you like need to help getting to the next level or even finding what your passion is, look for a mentor. And there's some free mentors out there too,
Oh
through
yeah.
a lot of programs through your state. There's free mentors, and then there's also paid mentors. But I feel it's so important to have that extra person, even when you're at that level that you've been trying to get to on your vision board. Even when you get to that, you still need a mentor, because there's another level you need to get to or that you want to get to. So those mentors are key. So for me, listening to TD Jakes, Steve Harvey, and connecting with my mentor, Tef Delaney, has definitely helped me out completely.
Awesome. That's good. I haven't really listened to much. I hear some Steve Harvey clips pop up on my feed, but I don't. I think I've always just associated Steve Harvey with the TV persona that
Right.
he is,
It's
which
hard to take
is,
you serious, right?
I wouldn't say it's hard to take him serious. I would just say that it's not the image I have of him isn't like the business persona life image. It's not I don't see Dr. Phil qualities in Steve Harvey. I see, like the guy you want to invite over for the barbecue
The
to
poker
play,
night, right?
yeah, like you want to hang out and have a fun time and stuff. That's like, but I do hear some Steve Harvey clips used a bunch that are inspirational, motivational. I've
Yeah.
gravitated toward people who are definitely don't baby people. They're pretty straight shooters. And there's one guy he's on my. I'm trying to listen to more and more of him, and his name is Chris Doe. I've seen him pop up on my TikTok several times, but it wasn't his account. It was like someone sharing it. But his brand is The Futur, Futur, and he had a marketing business and a graphic design business, and then he wanted to teach, so he was teaching. And what's funny about him is like I find his voice very easy to listen to, very soothing, when he talks. And he has a clip about how he started doing this YouTube channel with a partner. He didn't want to be on screen. He recorded it, didn't say much, didn't know what to do. And then when he played it back in his house, he hated the way he sounded. And he called his wife in there and his kids to listen when he was in the other room and asked them if that's what I sound like. And they said, yes. And he said, I couldn't stand it. And I'm like, it's funny to me because I think his voice is very soothing to listen to, you know, and I find it interesting that he hated the way he sounded. But his content is all about self-worth. You know, like what is it worth to you? What do you value more? And it's a huge selling point for his business, which is, you know, do you value time over money, or do you value money over time? And if the answer is money over time, then okay, I will charge you a lot of money. It will take a short amount of time. And or if it's time over money, we'll take up to 6 months. I'm still going to charge you the same amount of money, but it's going to take longer.
Right.
And the client's response is, well, if you can do it in a week, why would you take 6 months? Because you told me you value money over time. That's why. And either way, my value is the same. And if I can do it in a week, I'm very good at what I do. And I shouldn't be penalized for being good at it.
What would you prefer, the week or?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We want to get it done. You know, at the end of the day, that's what's more important. And so people don't look at it and go, well, they don't look at all of the time and energy and experience put into doing that task. They only look into, well, if you could do it, if you're going to charge me $20,000 and you can do it in a week, why would I wait 6 months? If you can do it in a week, why would I pay you $20,000? If you can do it that fast, well, why are you going to penalize me for being good at my job? So he has a lot of really good self-worth content out there and marketing, because it's his whole business, but it's free content.
What's his name?
His name is Chris Do, and the name of the podcast and the website is The Future, but there's no E. FUTUR is his thing there, and it's great to listen to. He does an awesome job. He's got, I think, a couple people on there as well, but it's that do courses and stuff. But it's a lot of free content that helps people understand. Like, I think a lot of times you don't understand what your worth is. And to that point, there's plenty of people on the internet telling you you can start by going to Fiverr and paying $5 for a logo. Go to Fiverr and pay $5. Go to Canva.com. And you're just like, no, there's a reason that the guy at the other end of Fiverr is charging you $5, right? Because he already has it made. And he's like, I don't care, you know?
Right. That's awesome.
So at the end of the day, you know, it comes down to, what do you value more, time or money? And being an entrepreneur, you have to find that work-life balance, because it's ironic to go, well, I used to work 50 or 60 hours a week for somebody else, and now I work 90 hours a week for myself. You know? Right. That's the reality, is you don't sleep. You're always thinking about it.
At least you're building yourself up. You know, you're not as stressed out for someone else's dream. At least you're stressed out for your own. You know, at one point, my example, I'm stressed out trying to meet certain numbers while the head person is, you know, face chatting me at their cabin, you know, for the weekend, or on the beach with their laptop, while I'm over here stressed out because I got to meet these numbers. No, this doesn't make sense. So
that's right. And that meme went around about 2 years ago, about when you started, with the guy in the Lamborghini that says, I bought this Lamborghini this year, and if you work hard enough, I can buy another one next year. You know?
Exactly.
Right? Like, awesome. Okay.
Right.
But that's the reality, and that's the world that we grew up in, which was you just go in there and you work for somebody else and you do it. And now we're in a new world, and we have to adapt.
Yes.
You know, we have to adapt, and you can't be scared. It's scary. You know, people get scared to do it. They don't want to make the leap. But once you do, I mean, I always say there's two types of people. There's people who walk up to the edge and they think about it. And then there's the guy who just runs and jumps. You know, you're over there like, well, I should get a parachute. I should probably take a couple lessons. I should think about this. Do I really want to jump? I don't know. And then there's people who buy all of the stuff required to start and still don't jump. You know, they've amassed all of it and they go, I won't do it. And then there's the guys like me who just jump and build a parachute on the way down. You know, and
On
if
the
you hit the
way down,
ground, yeah, if you hit the ground, you hit the reset button and you're back at the
and you
top
start back up again.
and you just run and jump again. Yeah. You might think a little bit. You might be like, all right, I'm gonna need to tie my shoes, but that's about it.
Right. Because now living in the first spot.
Yeah, so make no mistake about it. This is every morning when I wake up. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Some people will plan themselves right out of doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, and there's not much that you can do to stop them. I mean, like, well, it is what it is. But I hope a lot of people listen to this and they get excited about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they take something away from it that, man, look, you're going to have hard days. You're going to have days where you have no sales. And one thing that I learned through my other business was I used to, when I first started, I would get stressed about it. I'm like, man, I did not have anyone come in for like a couple of days. And as years went by, I realized that, yeah, those days come and go. But at the end of the day, I always make X amount of dollars. Somehow it happens. And if you keep at it and you're consistent and you pay attention to the world that changes around you, then you will also make those numbers and then some.
Yes.
We just can't get stuck living in the past going, what worked 2 years ago?
No.
Like, okay, well, it doesn't work anymore.
On TikTok.
That's why that's why we figure out TikTok and all of the other talks that will come after TikTok.
That's going on. Yeah.
Well, there is. It's TikTok has changed the game for Instagram and now Snapchat and Facebook. You know, YouTube influenced Snapchat for sure.
I hope someone sees this video and takes from, you know, like just kind of what you said, touch base on that. You know, it's just about getting up every day, focusing on what it is that you want to do and going hard for it every time, you know, and even if you just jump out there and you may fall flat on your face or whatever, just get up, dust yourself off, cry a little bit if you need to, and get back to work. That's what it's all about. Separate yourself from the ordinary person, and that's never giving up. Discipline yourself to keep going.
That's right. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, get comfortable going, today wasn't the day. Okay.
But tomorrow maybe.
Yeah. I mean, tomorrow you wake up, it's like Free Guy, man. You just start all over again.
Right.
Just wake up. Here we go.
Yes.
So I hope they do take that.
Get to wake up to try over again.
That's
you know?
right.
So you got a number one start right there, you know?
Yep. There was a clip that really resonated with me, and it was I think it was like 4 years ago, and it was Gary Vee sitting on a park bench, and he goes, "You get one at bat." He goes, "Look around. These people are walking around here like they're coming back. You're not coming back. I don't know what happens to you, but you're not coming back here. And you're walking around like you are. And you get one life. Take advantage of it." Yes. And so, yeah, you can do that. You can start today. You know how big or small the adjustment is. Make an adjustment. You know, if it's the environment that makes you unhappy, change the environment. Get up, walk outside. Go do something else. You know, and then come back and, oh, my thing froze here. Sometimes it does that. But, oh, goodness. There I go. All right. But yeah, so I do hope that they take that heart with them. And if they want to get in contact with you, I'm going to put your website and stuff down here. If someone wants to reach out to you for some shoes or an event, or learn a little bit more about what you do, or ask you some questions. And I'm going to encourage you to start a TikTok. And when you do, if you don't have one already, follow me. My link will be in the description. And so that way I can share some content with you as well and send some good vibes your way. Because if you're not on TikTok, you got to start right now. I'm almost saying you need to get your phone out and download it right now. Don't waste any more time. Get to it and make content, you know. Gary Vee says document. Don't think about what I'm going to create. Just document your day. And there is no more raw form than that on TikTok. Just document what most people are like, what? Why did I watch that? I don't know. I watched it.
Right.
That's what they do. Watch people work, man.
What am I watching after you sat and watched it for 10 minutes?
Yeah, you've watched it. I've watched that 35 times. And then you're over here like, I don't know what I'm going to make a video about. Like, I just watched a dude dip French fries and ketchup for 10 minutes. And you're like, I don't know what to do. But reality is, some of the funny ones are just hilarious. But there's a lot. My feed now is all full of side hustles. So once you start watching those, you're like, ah, okay,
So,
I can make money doing everything. But I'm glad that you made some time to join us on here, and look forward to following up with you in the future and seeing where you're at, and follow the journey.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
Absolutely.
Your show is awesome, and you're amazing. So
thank you so much. All right, we're going to let you go. You guys have a great day out there. And if you're watching the channel, like, subscribe, and send her some love her way as well.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.